Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Now, as you can see by the title, this is going to be a review, or as I call them now, reflections on this poetry collection, which is called Eyes Like Lighthouses When the Boats Come Home, and it's by Dane Cobain, which is Dane Reads here on BookTube and is a dear friend of mine. So obviously when I heard that he published a poetry collection, I had to pick it up. There was I was confused with the Amazon thing because I was just confused, but I figured it out apparently and ordered myself a copy and read it. Now this will probably be just a quick video because I think you need to pick up the collection for yourself and experience the poems, because this is definitely best experienced in many senses. This was a really great collection of poetry, and a lot of you know that I'm quite picky with my poetry, and it's even tougher to read a collection by a friend. So I was kind of scared getting into that, knowing that Dane would take it completely fine if it wasn't my style or anything, but it totally was. And it's a very impressive collection because not just stylistically, because I do really think that Dane found a way of expressing his own voice through his poetry. So it's that type of poetry that when you read a poem, you immediately recognize the poet or who wrote it. And I think that's a very good quality for a writer in general. But it's also very impressive because words. I'm clearly not as good with words as Dane is. Sometimes I am, but apparently not right now. But that is also due to the fact that I had to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I maybe got like 4 hours of sleep, and that's just not enough for me because it was windy and you can hear the winds here quite well, so not much sleep. But anyway, back to the point. It's also very impressive to look at the themes of this book and how honest this collection is, and how it really shakes you up and makes you think. And with that very unique style, there could sometimes be moments where a poet turns from the personal to from the universal to the personal, which I personally don't mind, but here that doesn't happen. And I think the themes and the combination of that works very well in this collection, because I don't know if that makes any sense, but when you have this very unique style, oftentimes it's the most applicable with personal poetry. But this is the type of poetry that can be personal and probably is also based on personal experience or thoughts or moments that Dane lived in his life and is still living. But it's also it achieves that it's also universal, and I think a lot of modern poets struggle with that balance, that it's not just feeling like you read someone's diary or journal. And I think this is totally modern poetry, as modern poetry should be. And it is raw and honest, as I said, and with that, it does not shy away to use the words it has to use. You almost think that after reading a poem, you think there was no other way to say what that poem said than how it has been said in that poem. And I think that's the biggest part of that collection that stood out to me. And there's some massive talent in here. And to combine the honesty and the almost anger with the humor side, and like finding a way to have all the feelings a human can experience in a collection without it being too personal or just not applicable to a reader, I think is really should be appreciated, and therefore you should go and support Dane. I'm sure he has some links to his work on his channel. I would highly recommend this collection of poetry to pretty much everyone, which I don't do easily. I'm very specific about recommending certain poetry collection to certain people, but this is really a universal one, and I would highly recommend this to everyone. Of course, there were like poems that you enjoyed more or less, but that's just how a collection works. And I'm very critical of like giving a collection 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars, which is practically a 5-star, because I'm not giving away 5 stars to a poetry collection easily. So that's basically me saying it was amazing. And again, I'm not giving this a good rating just because Dane is a friend of mine. I really enjoyed this collection, and I think you all know that I would be honest if I didn't like it. So yeah, definitely check Dane out if you haven't already, and go check his works out. This one, his poetry collection, but also his other work. He has quite a catalog out there, so there's definitely something for everyone to discover. Yeah, thanks to everyone. I'm just tired. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye.